Hello and welcome to Bliponomics. Phil has a dentist appointment tonight. I am Jerry Anthony. Tonight, we are discussing all things Captain America. And I want to hear from you. Subscribe wherever you're watching or listening. Send us an email, bliponomics@gmail.com. Captain America. All the recent news, controversies, even conspiracies are on the table. Everything goes tonight. If you have an opinion on Cap, I want to hear from you. But Jerry, which Cap are we talking about? Well, I want to talk about the original, the best, the one we all learned about in middle school, the star-spangled man with the plan, Steve Rogers. Where is he now? Is he dead? Is he off planet? Is he on a secret base on the moon, guys? Is he on the moon? And if so, why? Maybe they put him back under the ice again until we need to defrost him and take him out to kick some fascist ass. And unfortunately, we're going to talk about Rogers the Musical. I have not seen it yet, but I've heard mixed reviews. It was the hottest ticket on Broadway last Christmas. Question for those who saw it, why was Scott Lang in it? Are they saying he was an Avenger during the Battle of New York and he was just too small for us to see? Because our records show Scott Lang was in prison in 2012. But whatever, it's a musical, not a documentary, I guess. So, details, schmeetails. And we can't talk about Captain America without talking about the current Captain America. The new guy, Sam Wilson, formerly known as the Falcon, keeping his signature wings and slinging the shield. And so far, he looks good doing it. He kind of has like a bald eagle vibe to Captain America, which I can get used to. But I will be honest, I had my doubts, especially after the John Walker debacle. And we'll get to that. And again, I don't understand mantles. They don't make sense to me. Like the next Captain America, the next Iron Man. We don't do this for anything else, do we? What else do we do this for? The person who gets to wear the Mickey Mouse costume at Disneyland? But whatever. It's been decided. It's above my pay grade. And the U.S. government can't let a good IP go to waste. So there will be a new Captain America, and no one deserves it more than Sam Wilson. Now, like I said, I had my doubts. But that speech at the Smithsonian, as Sam Wilson says, symbols are nothing without the men and women who give them meaning. He says this as he's giving back the shield. And after the incident with the Flag Smashers attempting and succeeding to delay the GRC vote in New York City, where Sam Wilson said, "The only power I have is that I can believe that we can do better." That is the second I realized 100% that man is Captain America. And of course, his doubters are going to say he's just a dude with robot wings. He's not deserving. He doesn't have super soldier serum. He's not Steve Rogers. To be fair, no one is Steve Rogers. But I will point you to Sam Wilson's qualifications. His military record, both active and civilian, are exemplary. He helped Captain America take down Hydra. Sam Wilson helped stop a biological attack in Laos. Sam Wilson fought Thanos' army twice. And, most importantly, Steve Rogers himself handpicked him for the job. So, he's overqualified, in my opinion, and very deserving, and he will honor this responsibility better than anyone. Much better than the other guy. Of course, I'm talking about John Cap is Back Walker. He's still out there, and of course he still has his fans, mostly just on intelligentsia.com. And most sane people would like to forget his short-lived stint as the fist of the Global Repatriation Commission, or whatever they are, the GRC's personal superhero. Walker was also qualified, but he also never fought Thanos twice. I don't believe he ever even met Steve Rogers. We don't know where John Walker was during the Battle of Earth. Anyway, How do you feel about John Walker now? His supporters would say, it's the job of Captain America to execute unarmed surrendering terrorists on foreign soil by smashing their face in repeatedly with the most iconic artifact in Americana, while hundreds watched in horror. Okay, Walker's fan base probably wouldn't put it in those terms. But still, his fans think he was treated too harshly. Not me. Screw Walker. I think he got what he deserved. He was a political tool for billionaire jackasses, the GRC I'm referring to, who just wanted the stuff they lost in the blip back. Which is another controversial issue. Sam Wilson clearly isn't a political tool. He seems to be a defender of liberty and has been throughout his entire career. And speaking of liberty, should we actually fix the damage on the Statue of Liberty? Should we have put Captain America's shield on the Statue of Liberty in the first place? Personally, I think Doctor Strange did us a favor. When they were putting the shield on the Statue of Liberty, I was really thinking how Steve Rogers would feel about it. As he looked down from heaven or his base on the moon, wherever, I'm sure he's looking down. I mean, would you think Steve Rogers, everything we know about him, would approve of us slapping a shield on the Statue of Liberty? I think not. And we should probably take it as a sign to just leave old Lady Liberty alone. Leave it the way it was, and let's find another way to honor Steve Rogers without doing that. Well, that's my story. Let's hear yours. Hello and welcome back. Let's read some of your lovely, inspiring emails. We have Charles. Charles writes, Dear Idiot, Jerry. The hat might be coming out early tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Someone needs to take away your microphone. Rogers, the musical, is an American masterpiece. Absolutely brilliant. Mother and I are looking forward to seeing it again, because that's how good it was. In fact, the actor who portrayed Cap in the play would be better a choice for the new Captain America than Sam Wilson. Ooh, I disagree. He has already failed in his duties to protect American interests when he took up the cause of the Flag Smashers, and that outfit is ridiculous. No one wants a flashy Cap all blinged out with his puffy suit and wings. Cap doesn't have freaking wings, and if you need more than just a shield, you are not Captain America. Wow. Well, I pretty much disagree with everything. I don't, ladies and gentlemen, the hat is on. He says Sam Wilson has already failed in his duties to protect American interests when he took up the cause of the Flag Smashers. I don't think he took up the cause of the Flag Smashers. His point was they just needed a seat at the table. But thank you for your email. We are going to move on to Mike. Mike, thank you for the email. What's up, Jer? I'm glad someone finally said it. The mantle thing is effing stupid and makes no sense. Steve Rogers will always be Captain America in the hearts and minds of everyone, period. That being said, damn, does Sam Wilson look cool with the wings and shield? I agree, he does look cool. And he's got the resume, no doubt. If we have to do the mantle thing, like if we have to, Sam is my Captain America. Totally agree. But if it was up to me, the shield would be in the Smithsonian, and Sam would be called the Bald Eagle. That's just my 2 cents. And what the F is going on with the Statue of Liberty? Take the L and leave it the way it was. Steve Rogers and anyone with any sense of history would object to Lady Liberty being upgraded. That statue should mean something to every immigrant family since the Pilgrims. Anyone remember the inscription on the bottom? Give us your poor, yearning to breathe free? Or did they replace that too? Yeah, we're not the land of immigrants anymore. Sorry, we're all full up here. We're the land of superheroes. F you. Seems like defacing Lady L is their way of saying that. Steve Rogers would turn over in his grave or in his bunk on the moon, but wherever he is, he would definitely think the shield on the Statue of Liberty thing sucks. Mike, great email as usual, and I'm going to agree with you. I have faith in humanity, and my Thanos hat is coming off. Great email. No notes. Father Dinkle. Ladies and gentlemen, Father Dinkle, thank you for taking such an interest in our show. And let's see what Father Dinkle has to say. It's always interesting and entertaining. Father Dinkle writes, the Avengers and their valiant efforts were born out of dire circumstances and were driven by the need to protect humanity. While their bravery and heroism deserve admiration, it is crucial to discern the distinction between their exploits and the timeless significance of Jesus Christ's divine mission. How dare you in your pitiful ignorance compare Captain America, a mere mortal, to the divine and glorious figure of Jesus Christ? Any such comparison is a heinous and absurd and reeks of ignorance and arrogance. I don't believe I compared Jesus to Captain America, but would it not be an apt comparison? Like, of the two best humans who ever graced planet Earth, one would probably be Jesus, and the other one would probably be Steve Rogers. Let's go back to Father. To liken the actions of Captain America or the divine majesty of Jesus Christ is a blasphemy of the highest order. Delete your channel. Stop embarrassing yourself. Okay. Jesus' sacrificial act of redemption on a cross have touched the souls of billions throughout history. Captain America, however, noble and heroic, is but a mortal, incapable of granting eternal life or delivering mankind from sin. Okay, Jesus this and Jesus that. Father wraps up. Jesus preached a message of forgiveness, compassion, and redemption. He healed the sick, fed the hungry. Captain America is just a dude juiced up on German steroids who throws a frisbee. Not even a comparison. Well, Captain America is much more than a dude juiced up on German steroids who throws a frisbee. Our next email comes from our pal Sam. Sam, thank you for your emails. Sam writes, heard you talking about Captain America and I'd like to share a thought or two. Since I notice you read my emails on your show, I'll keep sending them. Well, if you keep sending them, Sam, I will keep reading them. I like my Captain Americas like I like my whiskey. Johnny Walker. Sam, you never disappoint. Now, nothing against Steve Rogers. He's obviously great, no doubt. Although he did come out of the ice a little bit tilted to the left. So maybe he lost some oxygen in his brain or something, not sure. But that Falcon fellow, carrying that terrorist in his arms and treating her like a martyr, calling himself Captain America while turning his back on the country, downright treasonous. He should be held to account and step down as Captain America. And what keeps running through my mind is, why are we being so unfair to John Walker? He was just doing his job, Sam writes, keeping America safe on foreign soil. I'm glad the world saw him do that, because as a veteran, I know that's what being a hero really looks like. That's the cost of freedom looks like. This ain't Hollywood and freedom ain't free, and most times it's not pretty. That fellow he killed was a terrorist, plain and simple. In my mind, it was either him or 1,000 Americans, and that ain't no choice at all. How many Snazis or Hydra folk did Rogers or Wilson kill? Explain the difference. Explain the difference. Well, for one thing, the folks that Rogers or Wilson killed were probably shooting at them and not surrendering and begging for their lives and holding up their hands. I mean, that's just one. But Sam, thank you for your email. As per usual, Sam, we disagree, but I'd like to have a beer with you sometime. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. We are going right to the pages of Intelligentsia on the prevailing theories on why or how Steve Rogers is on the moon, or why he's on the moon and what is he doing there. From the pages of Intelligentsia, the prevailing theory is, with the ever-present threats from various supervillains and cosmic entities, having a vigilant protector stationed on the moon could act as an early warning system. Captain America is on the moon to conduct reconnaissance and monitoring activities, using advanced technology or specialized equipment to observe potential threats to Earth from space. That would be a good idea. I don't think we need Steve Rogers on the moon to do that. A satellite would probably work, but the moon might serve as a hidden military outpost or a base for advanced weaponry too dangerous for Earth. Captain America could be there to protect and oversee its operations. Okay. My Aunt Tilly could be there to protect and oversee its operations too, but, all speculation. Another possibility is that Captain America is working with extraterrestrial beings on the moon. Given the presence of advanced alien civilizations, it's conceivable that Steve Rogers is engaging in diplomatic or strategic negotiations with the powerful alien race that hasn't made itself public yet. Well, I suppose anything is possible. That doesn't seem likely, and it seems kind of crazy to do it on the moon. Now we go deeper down the Steve Rogers is on the moon rabbit hole. This is from the pages of Intelligentsia, of course. Human experimentation. Perhaps Captain America's presence on the moon is tied to scientific experiments involving superhuman enhancements. The moon could house a top-secret research facility where scientists are conducting advanced studies on genetics, cosmic energies, or unknown celestial beings. Which means in English, they're on the moon making new Hulks and new super soldiers there, and there's like a big Hulk fight club, or, if one of the Hulks gets out of control, he's on the moon. Who cares? And of course, Steve Rogers is on the moon performing experimentations, making new Hulks because, he's been the perfect soldier. He's got the blood, of course. It makes perfect sense. That theory's pretty wild. They finish up, Steve Rogers might be participating in these experiments, willing or unwilling, either as a subject or as a prisoner. Well, however intriguing the Steve Rogers is now a prisoner on the moon theory is, I am going to need a little bit more evidence than the sources at Intelligentsia. I think we're going to wrap it up for tonight. Thank you very much. Phil will be back next time. I'm Jerry Anthony. Thank you for watching. Have a great night.